Okay, today we're looking at Section 2, Chapter 28, the Western Democracies Stumble, and the extent of the Great Depression as far as serving as a prelude to World War II. That being said, we're going to go ahead and analyze our terms first. The Maginot Line. Lily?
Massive forts in France to protect from invasions.
Very good. From who? Invasions from who?
Oh, Germany.
Very good. Gotta have it. Kellogg-Briand Pact? Go ahead.
An international agreement signed by almost every nation in 1928.
Very good. Disarmament? Go ahead.
Reduction of armed forces and weapons.
Excellent job. Now, why would we agree as nations to do that? What do you guys think?
Less war.
Less war, because if you're not overly armed means not one single nation can be overly aggressive. Excellent job. General strike. Go ahead.
Strike by workers.
More specifically, 1926 is going to involve over 3 million workers. Make sure you guys have this. It's going to take place in England. Okay. Overproduction. Go ahead.
Condition in which production of goods exceeds the demands for them.
Very good. Now, when we looked at invisible hand, supply, and demand, basically what we have here with overproduction is we produce 100 items of something. Traditionally, we could sell all that product, but now that everyone has one, we no longer need it. Okay, that's why you guys have clearance racks and stuff like that. We estimated that 100 people will buy it, but not the case, so we have to lower the price to try to reduce our stock. Finance. Go ahead.
Management of money.
Management of money matters. Very good. And you all exchange this as well. Say, for example, your parents set you up a savings account and you use that money, or maybe you even have a job, mowing lawns, babysitting. You manage your finances to pay any bills you may have or purchase any other items you may want. Continuing on. Federal Reserve. Go ahead.
Central banking system of the United States.
Excellent job. And that regulates and manages the little banks that you guys go to, such as First Fed, UBT, Chase, Comerica, those. Okay, those are not Federal Reserve banks. Those banks bank with the Federal Reserve. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So you yourself can't exchange money at the Federal Reserve. Great Depression. Ms. Praney?
The painful technical economic collapse.
Very good. Starts with the U.S. stock market crash in 1929. Make sure you have all of that. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Go ahead.
Argued that the government had to take an active, massive package of economic and social programs.
Excellent job. President during the Great Depression is going to ultimately lead us to our final term here.
A massive package of economic and social programs established by Franklin D. Roosevelt to help Americans during the Great Depression.
Very good. Okay, and you guys will cover that in great detail next year in American History with Mrs. Gall. All right. The nickname for that is actually Alphabet Soup because there are a series of acronyms that stand for multiple different laws and programs. Excellent job. Number 1, 6 problems that plagued the post-war world were what? Go ahead.
Finding jobs, returning veterans, war-ravaged lands, economic problems, pay back war debt, weren't happy with peace settlements, and hard time finding good leaders.
Perfect. Flawless response. Excellent job. Finding jobs for returning war vets. All of these individuals go overseas to serve in the Army. A lot of people will take their positions back home, many of which are going to be women, but now they've all returned. So how do you specifically tell those people who are filling those positions that, thank you, but we got to give their job back? Okay, that's the problem that these economies are working with. Number 2, during the 1920s, many nations put their hopes in what? Ms. Donahue.
The search for peace would end up in the making of the Kellogg-Briand Pact and the League of Nations.
Excellent. All of these are peace initiatives. The Locarno Treaties, Kellogg-Briand Pact, League of Nations. But we know that this is weak. Why?
Because we're not.
Very good. Excellent job. Number 3, weak spots in the American and world economy included what? Go ahead.
Britain and France owed huge war debts to the U.S. In 1926, a general strike occurred lasting 9 days. The Great Depression swept the world and the economies crashed.
Excellent. Now, in addition to that crash with these strikes, we have high prices for raw materials because, again, we have less people buying. So for these places to try to break even, they have to raise their prices. It would be like, for example, you're trying to get a loan Well, if people stop seeking loans, they either raise the interest rate to try to break even or they lower it to try to bring you in. Well, people are raising these rates to try to break even. Okay, decreased demand, that's in relation to overproduction, which she said, excellent job, and which is provided for you. Any questions with this? Excellent. We're going to continue on. Number 4. The Great Depression in the United States affected the world economy when what happened? Go ahead.
Okay, had falling demand and overproduction.
Okay, falling demand and overproduction are occurring on our home front, but ultimately we're going global when we stop making loans to other countries. Okay, which is what abroad means. We're stopped making loans to these countries, and we're now demanding the loans that are already out there. Well, we know that the economies in Europe are struggling just like ours. So we're demanding money that these countries can't pay back to try to cover what we have going on domestically. It's like, for example, your friend owes you $5. Well, they can't get a babysitting job, so now you're demanding the $5 and they have no way to pay you. Ultimately, in the long run, you're both going to lose. You don't get your loan repaid, they're not employed. Okay, that's what we have going on at this time, but on a national and global level. Number 5, Britain's post-war foreign policy angered France because why? Please.
France didn't like how Britain got their reparations from Germany.
Okay, which is in relation to the Treaty of Versailles, the harsh terms here. They're wishing to relax those terms because ultimately we're all seeking money, but the French did not. Now, that being said, why would France not want to relax the harsh terms of the Treaty of Versailles?
They're on the border of Germany.
They're neighbors, absolutely. You do not want them to gain anything back, even if it's money to help pay other countries. You don't want this to occur because ultimately that could allow them to rise to prominence once again and then invade France again, which they will. Number 6. Leon Blum's Popular Front government tried to do what? Mr. Schultz.
Solve labor problems and pass some social legislation.
Excellent job. Number 7. During the 1920s, the United States Congress passed laws that did what? Again, sir.
Regulated the stock market and protected bank deposits.
Excellent. As well as limiting immigration for Europe. Now, why would we do this as a government? What do you guys think? We got a couple things going on here. Go ahead.
So nobody would try to take over the government while it was weak, taking care of the financial problems.
Okay, so we have these financial problems, and we don't want hundreds and thousands of more people to arrive. But what else is occurring?
Radicals.
Radicals. What is this time period known as?
Red Scare.
The Red Scare. Very good. Okay, now the Red Scare, red meaning what? Russian or? Soviet communism. Okay, so write that down. Red Scare equals Soviet communism. We don't want any of these, how the term you all provided, radicals, which is correct. We don't want any of these people, Soviet communists, arriving in our nation, which could plague our whole style of government. And we're going to see this again, second Red Scare under McCarthyism. Okay? Excellent job. Objective number 1, explain how the post-war world tried to ensure the peace. Go ahead, sir.
Kellogg-Briand Pact. Almost everyone signed to renounce war as policy, disarmament, and the League of Nations, though it was very weak.
Excellent job. Okay. Weak because we have no USA. Make sure you guys have that. Now, the Kellogg-Briand Pact is essentially saying, or essentially doing, is what it's doing is outlawing war. Is that even possible? No, because at some point, somewhere across the globe, someone will demand something or want something that they don't possess, and conflict may ensue. Right? Whether it's demanding something peacefully, such as rights and opportunity, or more militant fashion, Nazi Germany, the expulsion of Jews, and the ultimate continental conquest of their country. Okay? Someone will do something. Second objective, identify the challenges in Britain, France, and the United States faced.
Labour Party equals Britain, Red Scare, which is the fear of radicals, and the Bolshevik Revolution equals the United States, and France equals conflict Germany.
Good. So we have a few things going on here. Conflict along the Medois line. France starts militarizing. We're terrified of Germany. Okay, we do not want these people rising to power anymore. Economic collapse due to the Great Depression, that reaches into everyone. Red Scare of the United States, we're fearful of communists. All right, so make sure you write down commies. We don't want communists in our country from the Soviet Union, which looks like this, USSR. We do not want those individuals immigrating to the United States. Okay? The Irish independent movement in the United Kingdom, there are revolutions going on, taking place right next door to Britain. Okay? Anytime you have domestic issues, it's hard to focus on global problems. Political party struggles in Britain, the Labour versus Conservative Party, make sure you have those, are both vying for power. It would be like the same thing as far as some people saying, you know, Republicans are absolutely right versus Democrats are absolutely right. Healthy mixture, others say quite the opposite. Specify how the Great Depression affected Western nations. Go ahead.
Rise in tariffs, loss in faith of democracies, mass unemployment, U.S. demands repayment of foreign loans.
Excellent job. What is a tariff? Anyone know?
Imported goods.
Tax on imported goods. Very good. Okay, so we have people overseas that have stopped buying our stuff. Okay? We rise our tariffs. We tax their stuff coming in more so we can try to make money. Well, the problem with the tariff is if we do that, they also do that. So now everyone is essentially losing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, now why would all of this relate to loss of faith in democracy? What do you guys think? Lily?
Maybe because with all of the bad stuff happening, like the Great Depression and all the fear of another war happening, the democracy that's in place isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing, so people aren't following it or try not to follow it.
Right, so we have these other governments, these totalitarian regimes, which we'll talk about, Nazi Germany, Nazi fascist Italy, as well as Japan, looking to the West saying, well, why would you consider democracy? What has it gotten you? Your economy's destroyed. You don't have a job. Okay, everyone's genuinely miserable. Why would you entertain this style of government? When they, for example, can offer you some kind of benefit package just by swearing allegiance to the party, which is what Hitler will do. Okay? Things you guys got to consider. Here's your assignment for the next day. Make sure it gets done.